Hello everyone and welcome back to another episode of Watch World, and today we're going to be talking about why Richard Mille gets so much hate and is it deserved. So everyone, I hope you had a great Christmas or Hanukkah or whatever you celebrate. I hope you enjoyed the holidays and got some well-earned rest and escaped from the reality that we've been living in for the last few months. Before we start today, a quick wristwatch check. I am wearing the Laco Flieger. Still my best pick for a Flieger watch, under $400, and can't go wrong. You know, with this watch, it is an absolute beauty. So guys, today I want to talk about Richard Mille and why they split the watch community more than any other brand I've ever seen. There are some people who really like what they do and what the brand does, and there are other people, a lot of them on YouTube, who absolutely rally against Richard Mille and do not like them at all. And I'm going to give a few reasons why I think this is so. I think the people who like Richard Mille are definitely in the minority. I would be in that group. I think there's no reason to dislike what they do, but I'm going to go through why people think they do. So for those of you that may never have heard of Richard Mille before, they're a Swiss watch company that started in 1999. They released their first watch in 2001. They are known for their tonneau-shaped design, and their watches usually go in the price range of six figures and upwards. So one reason why Richard Mille gets a lot of hate is because of the pricing. Many people rally against the company believing that they are overpriced, but in a sense every luxury watch company is overpriced because they're selling them for a lot more than it's costing them to make. So why are Richard Mille being singled out for this? I don't know why. Now, so I did a bit of digging around online, and some of the sources I found differ, but from what I can tell, a Rolex Submariner, one of the most famous watches ever made, or one of the most recognizable watches you will ever see, costs Rolex about $700 to $800 to make. This watch then sells for €8,000 or dollars, whatever you want to use, and so that is overpriced. You know, I know maybe not as much as Richard Mille, but it's still overpriced. But you never hear people complaining that the Submariner is an overpriced watch. So why do people do it for Richard Mille? I don't know. I'll let you think about that. Now, for example, take the RM11. This is one of Richard Mille's most well-known models. And at the time of filming this, on Chrono24, the cheapest one I could find was for in and around €120,000. Now, with this watch, you are getting a chronograph function, you're getting sapphire crystal on the dial, it's a titanium watch with a black rubber strap. Now, when I put all that criteria into Chrono24's search filters, I got everything from Tissots and Boulevers for €400 up to 25 grand APs. Now, this is far below Richard Mille's six-figure asking price, but I'm going to explain why I believe they charge that much and why I don't think it deserves any criticism. Now, one of the reasons why I believe Richard Mille charges a lot of money for their products is because of the demand and the production output. Now, I'm going to get onto their marketing and demand in a minute, but for a watch that is in popular demand, Richard Mille only actually produces 4,000 to 5,000 watches every year. Now, this is in very stark contrast to Rolex, which produces 800,000 watches a year. Even Patek Philippe, 62,000 watches a year. Audemars Piguet is around the 40,000 mark, and then Vacheron Constantin produces 18,000 watches a year. So they are producing a lot less watches than the most of their competition. Now, marketing. This is why Richard Mille is in such demand. Their watches have been popping up all over the place in recent years on the wrists of celebrities and sportsmen, and you name it. Anyone who is famous has probably been seen wearing a Richard Mille in recent years. Off the top of my head, I'm thinking of Floyd Mayweather, Frank Lampard and Rafa Nadal are all seen in public a lot of the time wearing Richard Mille watches. Now, seeing these watches on the wrists of famous people is going to create demand. It always does, whether it's watches or cars or whatever, clothes. When people see items on celebrities, they go crazy for them. And watches are no different, and this is what Richard Mille have done very well. So because of the demand that they have created for their watch, coupled with the low production output of only 4,000 to 5,000 pieces a year, they can essentially charge whatever they want for their products, and people are still going to pay that because there are so few of them a year and because they want the watch so badly. And you know what? Good luck to them. If people are willing to pay that much money for these watches, then Richard Mille have done an excellent job in creating the demand, and I'm not going to begrudge them for that. They've done a good job. Fair play to them. Now, the next reason I believe that Richard Mille gets so much hate is because of the design of the watches. They are very different to the conventional style wristwatch. They have a tonneau shape, which means it's more of a rectangular shape than your conventional circular wristwatch. And also they are very, very bulky watches. They usually come in at 16.5 millimeters thick, which is very large on the wrist. Now, this causes the brand to receive a lot of criticism online. People complain that they're too big, they're too brash, they're too loud, they stand out too much in public, and all these sorts of reasons for not liking the watch. All reasons, or all things, should I say, that watches should never do, according to these people that you would see on YouTube. However, just because you don't like the design of their watches doesn't mean you have to slate the brand for everything they do. You know, I don't see people complaining about Rolex or Omega or JLC every time they don't like a watch that company has released. You never see people complaining about, oh, I hate Rolex and I hate Omega and I hate JLC, like they do for Richard Mille. You know, in most cases, if someone didn't like a new model of Rolex or an Omega or JLC or any other watch brand, AP, Patek Philippe, whatever, you know, they'd say, that's not my cup of tea, but I respect what they do. But not with Richard Mille, no. It's always, they're disgusting, they're ugly, this company is a disgrace to the watch industry, and so on. And, you know, it's just, I think it's very unjustified considering that they're being singled out. Well, maybe them and Hublot get singled out a lot more than other companies do. You know, so if you don't like the design of the watches, just get over it and move on. And stop complaining about it online about how much you hate this design. Because even if you don't like what Richard Mille make, these kinds of watches, they actually do a lot of good stuff, and they've made some very good movements in their watches. Anyway, guys, those are my reasons why I think Richard Mille gets a lot of hate, and why I personally think it is a little bit unjustified. I hope you enjoyed this video, guys. I hope you have a great week, and I will see you again very, very soon. Take care for now.